Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Anime Podcasters. I'm your host, Hotshot Ginger, and with me I have, like I said a few episodes ago, I'm running out of creative ways to introduce you. So just introduce yourself, Jaden. I don't care anymore.
It's JaianMusic. I'm back. Episode 120 of the podcast. I'm very excited to be here with you, Hotshot. It's been a minute since we've done an episode, but we have a doozy. We have a treat. We have a guest today. I'm very happy. Today we will be discussing My Hero Academia. Obviously, since the last time we spoke about this anime, there's been a new season. A lot of things are in development.
And I'm caught
universe.
up. For once.
Yes, you are. You are caught up, which is fantastic. And even more exciting, we have a guest. I would love to give a warm welcome to Tsunar. How's it going, man?
I am doing great. How about you? How are you doing today?
Very good, very good. Very excited to have you on. For the people who may not know who you are, please introduce yourself to us and tell us, a little bit about how anime is for you. Give us the lowdown. Who is Tsunar?
Oh boy, how anime is for me. I'm gonna have pitchforks coming after me. You want me to die? Anyways,
I was just horribly maimed.
Just horrible. Okay, well, as long as we have that covered. Anyways, my name is Tsunar Cologne. It's very nice to meet you. I am a streamer on Twitch. I'm also a very, very nonchalant YouTuber for my video game content and such like that. I'm also a musician and technically a professional voice actor, depending on who you ask and how far my credentials go. So, yeah. I'm also an artist, game designer, video game developer. What else do you want to know? That's a lot.
Is there anything you're not?
Talented.
All right, good to know. We'll keep it. You're in good company.
You're in good company. Okay, great. And what about anime for you? What were some animes that you watched when you were younger, and how often do you watch it?
So the one that got me into anime, into it, is actually not technically a Japanese anime. I don't know if you know it. It was called Lyoko.
Oh yeah.
Hell
yeah. Oh my goodness, yes.
That really got me into the genre, but before that, I had a little introductions with Digimon, some Pokemon. My parents were super protective, so I didn't get to actually watch those. It wasn't until Code Lyoko and stuff like that I really got into it. But I'd say the animes that really gripped me growing up were Full Metal Alchemist and Death Note, believe it or not. Believe it.
Great. Another Death Note fan. All right, I'm out.
I love Death Note.
Keep finding these guys in the same corner, Jayan.
It's so well written.
It is very well written, but we have to talk about a anime that's well written as well. One where the population is commonly referred to as heroes, people who have quirks, and that is My Hero Academia. Season 5 recently ended, and we're all here to discuss this. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of it all, I really want to know for you guys, how did you come across My Hero Academia?
So, Jaden, you and I have talked about Hero a couple times prior to this, be it in a games episode or when we were actually just talking about Hero. It's about superheroes and it's anime. So when I found it, I fell in love with it immediately. Although I left it on the back burner forever because that's just what I do. It's not because it's anime or anything else. It's just because it's a show. But I've played through... you know me, I tend to play through stuff rather than watch stuff, but I actually sat my ass down and watched it this time.
Yeah, of course. And what about you, Tsunar?
So I got into it a little begrudgingly.
Really?
Yeah, no, I was not looking to. I'm not a big fan of shonen. Before that, a friend of mine got hired onto Funimation. And she was giving hints that she was in this new big anime that was coming up. She wouldn't tell anyone the role, but she was really excited. She was posting it all over Facebook. And I messaged her, and I know that that Funimation had the rights to My Hero Academia. I'm like, you got into My Hero Academia, didn't you? And she's like, I can't say. And then a few weeks later, it's announced that she voiced the rescue hero in My Hero Academia, and I just messaged her like, I knew it. So as I like to check out everything that my friends are in. So I watched the first few episodes. I was looking for her. And next thing I know, I was really, really hooked with the concept of the world. And I really liked Deku as a character. Very Spider-Man vibes. And I got really intrigued with the story and how the villains and what it meant to be a hero and the philosophies that it started talking about as it went through the first season. So, yeah.
I really relate to that. The philosophies and the growth of Deku. Deku really knows how to carry the series. And that's the main person that I root for in My Hero is definitely Deku. The one thing for me though with Deku is I feel like you really get to see a consistent growth throughout every season. Every season is a new ability or a new mentor or a new internship. And you see that this character like continuously grinds and new villains appear and it's always fresh. I never feel like it's dull in My Hero. Do you guys like see it that way or do you see it differently?
It's never dull. It always does keep you it always does throw unexpected surprises at you, but I'm just going to say that doesn't mean all these unexpected surprises are always good. Like,
what do you mean?
Okay, so this happened in season 5, and it was like relatively early. I don't know how I feel about Deku awakening previous quirks from other holders of All for One or One for All. Dang it! Because it's just a really weird to me because judging by the previous owners of the quirk, it's never really happened. Like, All Might didn't have anything except his super strength. But now, all of a sudden, here, Deku is with One for All and Black Whip. And apparently he has the ability to get, like, 6 other quirks out of this. It's just like, okay, are we just Supermaning this guy up? Like, All Might was already Superman. Are we Supermaning here? It was just really like, are they really throwing this in? Like, one wasn't enough? Like, the most powerful quirk in the world wasn't enough?
So, to counter that, I do think My Hero has a lot of issues, and I don't think it was consistently good growth on Deku's side. Like, some of it was pretty slow. Like, it took him a solid, 2 or 3 seasons to get to where he's at right now, where he's actually competent in the terms of fighting. And that's one of the biggest critiques is My Hero is actually pretty slow. Like, we're almost 6 seasons into the anime and we're still in the high school. Like, by this point,
I never thought of it that way. That's
like,
true.
We're still only getting through 1 year of the series. I could be wrong in that, but this is 6 seasons in and we've only done 1 year.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And that's pretty slow. But as for the stockpiling quirk, they actually address that a few times. One is he's the 13th holder, which has had specific meaning and value into definition, but he's also, if I recall correctly, and do call me on this if I'm incorrect, he's also the first holder without a quirk himself.
I believe that is the case, yeah.
No, Toshi didn't have a quirk. All Might didn't have a quirk.
That doesn't make sense then. Because All Might got his power from then All Might got it from his previous mentor, and his mentor's power was flight, not super strength.
Right.
So he did have a quirk before. I believe he did have a quirk before what.
Honestly, and think of it this way. Sorry for cutting you off, but the only quirkless person really that I can think of in My Hero at the beginning, it was Deku. Everyone else kind of had a quirk. I can't think of another person who never had a quirk. So I really do believe you're hitting it on the head with that.
You're probably right. I'm probably just remembering it wrong. It's just.
Well, I probably am
still
wrong.
Just a little weird to me. That's all.
And then, additionally, what else that was a thing in it is Toshi also grasped onto. Wait, no, backtrack, rewind. They All for One is a off-breed and a mutation of One for All. One for All has been shown to use other powers and steal them for his own, so it makes sense to how Deku can tap into other powers and past users, similar to the Avatar state. And it makes sense, but I point out what you did say. It is interesting that he can tap into it, but maybe other users never actually tried because Deku is significantly smarter than All Might is.
The other thing too is though,
I can see. Well, go ahead, Jane.
Yeah, just to conclude on that, if let's say he only had the one quirk, and he didn't have any other powers. I'm sorry, I understand that it's like Supermaning him up, but like, what else would there be there? It would just be like, okay, I have my one power, and that's all I can do. Like, you severely limit the growth and like the possibilities in the battles and everything. It makes it way more boring. I'm happy he's gonna get Supermaned up, honestly, because he's the main character.
That's when you bring in tactics. Like, you fight smarter, not harder. Like, look at Flash, for instance. The only thing he can do is go fast, and yet here he is, like, phasing through walls, running through time, like super speeding it up, and his intellect is super fast. Like, you can do a shit ton with just one power. Like, just because you have one power doesn't mean you're extremely limited. It just means you have that one to focus on to bring out like your ultimate potential.
So technically this is one power because it stockpiled all the other powers throughout all the years and then just put it into this one power. So technically it is this one power.
Okay. I get the argument on both sides. I just
additionally, as for tactics, Deku has shown that. But even at the beginning of the series, All Might told Deku that there are enemies that you will face that you need a quirk to face with. So they already built it up into this universe where power, if you do not have, you can be as smart and as clever, and you can be Batman, who's incredibly technologically good and have all the tech in them. But if you are not strong enough, if you are not powerful enough, you will lose. That is the universe that My Hero set up in episode 1.
He was also telling that to Deku because he had no quirk at all.
Yes.
And yet here he is with All Might's quirk, like the quirk of the symbol of peace later on.
There is no way All Might would be able to take on, say, Shigaraki.
I don't believe that.
That's a bit of a hot take. I mean, he does take out One for All.
Well, yes, One for All, but One for All doesn't have Shigaraki's power. Now imagine One for All with One for All's power, and now make it so that All Might, all he does is punch. So now make it so that Shigaraki has, then this is with spoilers in the anime that's coming up in season 6.
Oh, babe. No, okay, let's cut it there. I don't want to be spoiled. Like,
I mean, they've already started hinting it in season 5. They've already started showing that.
Actually, I know what you're talking about. I read it on the wiki. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I remembered.
I don't.
know what you're talking about. Okay, well, maybe let's cut it there for that, because I know where you're going, Tsunar, and we can talk about it off podcast. But I do concede the point. I do see what you mean.
There is no way someone who can touch Shigaraki is going to. Yeah,
exactly. I want to go to like some highlight battles, like stuff. Just like rapid fire, like some battles I absolutely loved. I wanted to just start with season 1. It's the entrance exam, and Deku has no points, and then this big robot shows up, and this is really the moment where I fell in love with the series, where we just saw the robot showing up and everything, and everyone's running away from it, and Deku's like, you know what, I'm a hero, I'm gonna go punch that thing in the face right now. I don't care what happens, I don't care what occurs. And the music comes in, and it just is such an epic moment that I truly enjoyed. And even if the robot was worth no points, it was the fact that opportunity was afforded in that moment for Deku to stand out and, make a name for himself as a hero, and he really seized it, and I really, really loved it. What did you guys think of like that specific moment?
I mean, I loved it because it was the first time we actually saw Deku really use the power. Like, I didn't love the flappy arm and legs afterwards, though, but I loved the punch.
The flappy arm at the end, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because he turned all of his bones in his arm to dust.
Yeah, true.
That is actually something I really, really enjoyed about One for All in comparison to a lot of other super strengths. And a lot of things involving in My Hero Academia's power system in general is that there's usually a scientific, logical explanation to how they work. Like, yes, there's a lot of force behind Deku's abilities, but without the actual strength and physique to back it up, he's going to crush himself, which makes sense from a momentum point of view. As for that scene right there, I don't think he was really thinking about the opportunity at all, as he was just thinking about saving Uchako, which is what got him One for All in general, is that he rushes, when he sees someone in danger or someone who needs help, he rushes in without thinking. He doesn't even think about it first. He just goes in to protect someone. And that's what All Might saw. Right. That's what All Might saw in Deku and made him want to pass on One for All to him. It was the want to protect, want to save, and want to be a hero. And this goes into one of the two main philosophies in the show, which is what it means to be a hero. it was very cool to see. I do think that was one of the best moments in the show.
For sure.
So I definitely do agree with that. Flappy arms makes sense. I do see how it can be silly.
It makes sense. I do love seeing it just because like you see how much power Deku puts into his punch. The only reason I didn't love it is just because of how gross it was. Like I'm like, oh yeah, like you're cheering, but you're also grossed out. But I'm like, I loved it every time. But every time I saw like Deku flick and like breaking his fingers individually, like when he was fighting Todoroki in the sports festival.
Oh, that was another insanely. That fight was so good.
Just like his colors getting like darker and darker and darker with each flick, like just doing more and more damage. I'm like, Deku, stop.
I mean, he was, and going on to that point with Todoroki and such like that.
Thank God he didn't do like a one for all headbutt or something.
He did headbutt Todoroki once, remember?
No, I know, but not with one for all. He just regular headbutt.
But no,
if he used it
like,
with power behind it, and then his head was like purple and swollen, then there would have been problems.
Purple and swollen head.
Going back into like what it means to be a hero and such, and Deku's willingness to just jump in without thinking to help someone. He knew Todoroki was suffering emotionally, and so he wasn't even thinking about winning the match. He just wanted to get through to Todoroki. He just wanted to help him. This goes back to Deku's like entire thing of I want to protect people. I want to help people.
Shows Hero as more as like, or as more than just, okay, I'm going to get you away from this bullet that's coming at you, but like I'm saving you from your internal struggle too. Like, I mean, hell, that's something that Batman and Superman and like other DC and Marvel heroes have done as well. Like, I mean, just because you're a hero doesn't mean you're always saving them from like immediate physical danger. Like there's other dangers out there they're saving you from.
I mean, in contrast as well, in season 3, one of their studies tells them to smile when saving a victim so that the victim is feels more calm and safe, like everything's going to be okay. Like a hero's job isn't just to save them from danger, it's to make them feel safe, like everything's going to be all right.
Deku's first word in that festival, wow, this looks bad. No, you moron.
Yes, and then that goes back to
stupid moron.
That goes back to All Might's I am here. It's I'm here so you can be calm now. Everything's going to be all right.
Sorry to take away from that. Or another example of that is Mirio when he takes off his cape and wraps it around Eri for like, do you know why heroes wear capes? So they can comfort the people they save. And just wraps it around her like a blanket.
That's a better example than most superhero examples of capes. I'm gonna quote in the mode: "No capes."
Cue Incredibles cape sabotage mode.
Yeah, I saw that.
But to be honest,
let's hop to another fight that I want to talk about a little bit. I think this is one that everyone loved, but the Deku versus Stain, the whole Stain battle. I loved it so much.
Ida, Deku,
Todoroki and Deku.
It was Todoroki. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Versus Stain. When they all ganged up on him at the end with like it was like a double punch, single kick kind of thing. I don't remember the specifics of it, but it was like such an epic fight.
Yeah, like Deku, like the finishing blow at least, like Deku punched him in the face as Ida kicked him in the side like the other way. So it was like a spin cycle thing for the final blow. God, that was brutal. But Stain in general is just freaking psychotic, and I honestly miss Stain.
You miss Stain.
I do, because after that fight, like we hear about his influence and everything else, but like 2-3 seasons after that, I'm like, whatever happened to Stain?
He died.
I mean, hell, did he die?
They say he died, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. All right. Well, fuck.
He at least in that episode, they say at the end that he passed away short after from overexerting.
Okay. It's been a while since I've seen that episode, so I guess that's why. But I mean, like in season 5, sorry, just one quick thing. Even in season 5, I can't remember if it's twice or Mr. Compress says even like Stain's influence has all but disappeared at this point, and he wonders why Toga's even still part of the League of Villains, because that's the entire reason she joined. But I'm just like, wait, his entire influence is gone? What happened to him? But then now that he said he's dead, I'm like, oh, right, huh. That'll do it.
What you're saying, Jade?
The one thing I wanted to specify was that the wiki says status alive. So I don't know.
First name.
If you're don't look at the wiki unless you want spoilers from the manga later on ahead.
Yeah, but if it's on a page of a character that's dead, I'm good. You know, like if the story doesn't continue. But it does say he's alive. I don't know.
It says alive.
That's spoilers for the manga. You do as what? Okay, so this is probably getting cut out as well. But as far as we know in the anime, he is dead.
Okay.
Well, you know what? There you go, listeners. Next topic.
Actually,
no.
if I can like shift gears entirely here.
Please do.
Okay, there's a character that I really want to talk about because I didn't start. I like this character fine, like seasons 1 through 3, but I started loving him in season 4 afterwards. I want to talk about Kirishima real quick.
Ooh,
do you guys remember Kirishima by name?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Kirishima,
yes,
or Red Riot, he's the one who can harden his skin as hard as he possibly can, like crackles and everything appear in his skin afterwards. I mainly want to talk about like his internship with Fat Gum, who I also love. Fat Gum's amazing. But just the entire Overhaul mission, like especially his side, where he's just going in trying to make a name for himself. Like he wanted to be a hero, but didn't know how to make his quirk work, like to be said hero. And then before even the Overhaul mission, he comes up with his ultimate mode, Unbreakable. I fucking love Unbreakable. It's so
Unbreakable
cool.
Was so cool, but it's too short. It went by too short. I was
like,
okay,
because
cool.
he was just using it for like the first time, so obviously he's going to train himself up to get better at it.
I can't wait. I hope that like it becomes like a Super Saiyan. You know, you can stay in like Super Saiyan like long periods of times. You know,
or
I hope,
or
like,
at least
Unbreakable becomes,
a few minutes, like 5-10 minutes, because like if you're in a mode that like can't be damaged for like 5 minutes in a fight, that's a freaking long time where like every second counts in a fight. And here you are for like 10 minutes in a mode that literally cannot be touched.
Except it can be, and we saw like almost instantly after.
Well, yeah, with enough force, but I'm saying like with enough training and everything, I'm pretty sure he can tough it up like even further.
Yeah, but it's still not
like,
going to be
unbreakable. Well, yeah, you know what I mean, though.
Like, if we put one for all against it, it's going to shatter.
Well,
instantly.
Okay, that's not a fair concept.
I mean, it's
but I want to believe that Unbreakable, like maybe not the mode it's in now, but like after a little bit, could withstand a point blank explosion from Bakugo.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So like more training obviously will build up to more like heavy impact strikes against him, and he'll be able to take them. Like I'm not saying he'll be able to take a United States of Smash attack anytime soon, but he's gonna be able to stay standing a lot longer than a lot of other people. And it inspired Acid Man from Mina, and I love Mina, so there's that.
I want to just touch back on Unbreakable, though. I found this quote. Red Riot Unbreakable, however, despite its augmented offensive and defensive properties, can be worn down with repeated hits, namely powerful ones. Kendo Rappa's rapid fire punches effortlessly broke through his form. Although Kirishima can counteract this through strong will by continuously rehardening after his defenses are broken. Also, he has noted that this form can only be used for 40 seconds at a time. Yeah, so I do believe that there's room for improvement, obviously. Yeah. But I would love to see
these guys, when you think about it, like, yeah, Kappa was able to effortlessly break Unbreakable, but these guys are all still in school. They're all still actually learning to use their quirks as heroes. So, like, think about when they become pros, like how dangerous that's going to be for villains.
Yeah, fair enough.
Speaking of character growth, I think this has been touched on multiple times in multiple scenarios and discussing by Hero Academia, but the character that has grown the most in the entire series has to be Bakugo.
Ooh, why do you say that?
In the first episode, he told Deku to kill himself. And now, because of how weak he is, he basically said, you need to stop living. Just throw yourself off a building and hope that you're born with a power in your next life. That is literally what he said to him in the first episode. And now, when he was trying to teach children, he said, you shouldn't underestimate someone just because they're weaker than you. He's calmer. He's more level-headed. He's more respectful. He looks at Deku more as a rival.
He's more respectful.
No, he is. He is way more respectful. He actually listens to authority and is willing to listen and learn from someone else rather than thinking Tsunar, he is the best.
I'm sorry, but if you polish a piece of poop, it is still a piece of poop.
But he's not anymore.
He is.
No, he is not. 100% is not. Because one, he even looks at Deku less as a person to step over and more as a rival. Like his entire things that he says to Deku now are to say, this is your weak spot. This is what was annoying about you. This was annoying. This is what really put me down. And this is how you can improve that. Like when Deku was after that first fight with Deku, second fight. Deku asked, what did you think of my shoot style? This was season 3. And he said it was predictable and easy to read, but it was annoying when you started using punches as well. Which gave Deku the knowledge that he should mix things up and throw in punches as well. And even recently, he's been saying, you need to master one for all. You need to master one for all. He's been building Deku up and wanting him to be as strong as possible. And even recently, he didn't just shun or roll his eyes at the fact of learning from Endeavor. He actually listened to him and learned from him. He's got power. He's very powerful, and he is very confident.
There's no denying that.
Okay,
there's no denying that.
Okay, putting it in perspective. Yeah, you're 100% right. Bakugo has come a long way. I'm probably just speaking out of bias because I do not like Bakugo.
Well, he's loud and abrasive, but he's confident for a reason. He is by far one of the strongest. But in the first few seasons, in 1 through 3, he was shown humility after humility after humility. First with Todoroki and how strong he is. Then he was the cause for All Might's demise, and he had a breakdown because of that. Then his person that you thought he was superior to in his entire life since he was a kid is now getting stronger than him and surpassing him. Like, he has been humbled to the ground. And if you compare him to where he started,
this is a true Sasuke Naruto relationship.
Well, actually, funny story. Bakugo this goes into the writing of My Hero Academia. Bakugo is inspired by Naruto. He has blonde spiky hair, an orange and black jumpsuit outfit. He's loud, obnoxious, always talking up to himself, and his syllables reach the same thing. Bakugo Naruto.
My life is
never going to be able to see it.
This. Well, I'm broken. Let's wrap the episode up here. I need to process.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the podcast.
He is Naruto.
Tsunar, you're never welcome back. All right, bye guys.
He is Naruto from the perspective of people outside if Naruto wasn't the protagonist.
I want to touch on a point, though. What did you guys think? I think the most important arc that he's in, the one where I see the most growth from him, is when he gets captured by the League of Villains and then he gets rescued and the whole teamwork that surrounded that. What did you guys think of that whole
I was fully expecting Bakugo to go full-on League of Villain mode, like right then and
there. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Huh.
I knew he wasn't going to be evil. It was
it was too predictable because like a guy with Bakugo's characteristics, like you would think would just like jump on the evil train and like take all the strength for himself and like not care what anyone thinks, which is what he does. Like, I mean, his hero names were like Kill, Burn, Kill, or Key Explosion or stuff like that. Yeah, and it's just like hearing a hero say all these, it's like, okay, you're a little more than concerning.
I mean,
but like that again, that's my stance. So when he was kidnapped by the villains, I kind of thought he would, but at the same time, he is way too freaking stubborn to know when he's beat or give in to anyone else but himself. So I was kind of teetering, but I was leaning more so on like he's going to be a bad guy, isn't he?
I was the opposite. I was like, he's too far the extreme already in the sinister that his character development wouldn't make sense to go more sinister. It would make more sense to go backwards and go more good, which also back to the character development. He was all loner at the beginning of the series. Now he's working with people as well. So anyways, that's another thing. But I thought when he was like, a lot of people were saying he's going to go evil. And I was looking at his character development. I was like, no, because he's already pretty sinister and evil right now.
He's already pretty evil. We can't make him
Yeah,
evil.
It would be bad writing to make him more so. It would be bad writing to hammer down on it. Instead, you want to do the opposite with a character when it comes to character development.
Okay, fair. But one character that, sorry to switch gears so drastically here. One character that did start from evil and then just went fully off the edge that I want to touch on is Shigaraki. Like, Shigaraki in the start, like, yes, he's the bad guy. He's decomposing and he's following in his master All For One's footsteps. But as the seasons go on, he gets more ruthless, he gets more brutal. Okay, I just saw this a couple weeks ago for the first time. When Overhaul was defeated, he and Mr. Compress walk up to Overhaul's unmoving body after wrecking the medic bay that he was in. And Compress takes away one of Shigaraki's, or not one of Shigaraki's, sorry, one of Overhaul's arms for revenge for his own. And then Shigaraki just decays the other arm, leaving Overhaul entirely powerless and armless, and just leaving him after slicing off the other arm. I'm just like, God damn, that's fucking messed up, and I love it. Because that is the shit you want your villain to do. So
before I go into that, I actually want to see if Jaden has any thoughts, because we've been talking over him this entire time and I feel really bad.
No stress. No, okay, yeah. In terms of Shigaraki, I've always really enjoyed him. I think that he was a good villain from the start. But what really threw me off was when I saw him appear, I was like, okay, this is the main bad guy. But at the end of season 1, we clearly see that he is working for someone. But he has immense growth and development. You see him hit lows, and then also his personality. How can I even say this? Like, this guy's not well, you know? This guy's extremely dark, and this guy like loves destroying basically anything with his bare hands, and he wants to literally reshape the world. I see a little bit of Itachi in him, in terms of just wanting to just take over everything and just become an absolute villain. Obviously, early Itachi has different developments. They aren't that similar at the end of it. But I do know what happens after season 5, and I think it's a good fit for him as well, is what I'll say.
So I am going to say the opposite. I'm going to be the opposite man here and say he was a very bad villain at the beginning, but that's the point. I'm kind
of with Tsunar here.
Like, he was a very bad villain. Like, he looked at the entire thing as a game, and he didn't care if he won or lost. The entire time, he didn't care if he won or lost. He just looked at it like a game and got mad and, like a spoiled child, throw a tantrum and tried again. And his anger was less controlled and more of a rage. And this goes into the what it means to be a villain side of My Hero Academia. And he goes from a spoiled brat who's throwing a tantrum to actually a conniving, sinister, intelligent mastermind. And that is what's scary, is he learned to control the anger he had and channel it and actually think very strategically and manipulating people under his thumb. He has gotten so manipulative and so good at what he does, and he has become a villain in the same way that he did Deku, that Deku became a hero. He has become so good that Toga went from idolizing Stain and doing everything for Stain, and the entire League of Villains went from doing things because Stain was doing it to they're going to follow him regardless. Right. It's no longer Stain's motivations that's motivating them. It's Shigaraki's.
And it got to the point, like, this is the very end of season 5, but I still want to touch on it. When the League of Villains was attacking the, God, I can't remember it, but it was, the leader looked like Doofenshmirtz. Like, if you've seen the memes, he looks like Heinz Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb. I can't remember his name. But,
can never run here.
But like the sheer fight between Shigaraki and him, and really the League of Villains versus all of these other guys, like this 100-part. And after everything's said and done, All For One's like big ace in the hole, like this massive mountain of a guy, like who Shigaraki's been fighting for like 2 months in order to gain dominance over him, just swears allegiance to him right then and there. And it's just like, you see the leader that Shigaraki has become at the end of season 5. And it's freaking insane to think of, like, this was just a kid from the gutter, and now he's, like, nothing short of an emperor at the end of all this.
I have so many complaints about that part of the season, though. Oh, God, that was so bad.
We'll get to I just have one more thing to touch on. And something on Shigaraki that has always bothered me is the hands around him, like just the part of his costume. I always just thought it was weird. And then when it was revealed that it was like the hands of his victims or the hands of his family, and it's just like, oh, good God. Just that entire flashback scene of him discovering his quirk for the first time, and like little Shigaraki growing from with All For One watching him, and it's just like, my God, this was that was hard to watch. Just because, of course, a villain needs a tragic backstory, but still, fuck me.
Yeah, no, I had issues with that entire arc. That was the My Villain Academia arc, and boy, oh boy, was that done terribly. They cut out so much and censored so much in comparison to the manga.
You're talking from the manga, yeah?
Yeah.
Like,
They skipped over Giganto Machina's entrance.
Giganto Machina?
Yeah.
Yeah, remind us, Giganto Machina, who was that again?
That was the big guy that they were fighting and training against.
Oh, okay, that was the mountain. All right, I gotcha.
No, they skipped over his entire entrance. And
that's why I don't remember his name, isn't it? I just call him Mountain.
Yeah, no, like they skipped over his entire entrance, and then with the professor, I don't remember his name. This is one character funny because there was a whole thing
the doctor who was working on Shigaraki at the end there?
In the anime, they just kind of stood there talking to him, while in the manga they tried to rush him and he actually pushed them back and teleported them away and said, I have all the power here. Basically it was there was so much cut out of that arc, including like the Mr. Like Doofenshmirtz, I'm gonna call him.
I'm so sorry we can't remember his actual name, but he looks too much like Doofenshmirtz not to use it.
Yeah,
I think we're just gonna call him Doofenshmirtz.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
anytime, buddy, anytime.
Bakugo Naruto.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
But like they cut out the scene of the torture scene where he's breaking the guy's fingers, and so.
Their contact.
Yeah, and
or twice his friend. Yeah,
and a lot of murders and such like that. That's arc. There was so much cut out of that arc, so much meat and character development and story progression, and it was just, it was irritating.
You know what?
So bad.
You know what? If anything, this is just telling me I need to read more manga.
Well, the manga is so much better.
But one thing, it is still in this arc. One thing that I am happy we got to see from League of Villains while this whole attack was happening, all of their quirks got upgraded, and it was amazing to watch. Like Twice's backstory was that he made clones of himself, like bank robberies and stuff like that. But then he lost control and didn't know what one was the original, and almost died as a result due to like a 3-day long battle. So he would always only make copies of 2, and he would always never copy himself. But now here we are, there's a wave of Twice rushing at you, or Toga drinking Ochako's blood, like as she's trying to escape the wave, and then all of a sudden here she is using Ochako's quirk, and she takes out like 50 guys.
Which, funnily enough, the video game actually spoiled that. The video game that came out like years ago, I'm familiar. Justice.
Honestly,
in the game, Toga, when she transformed into the person she absorbed the blood of, she gained the powers for a short time. So that was literally a spoiler for what was happening down the manga.
I honestly thought it was just a mechanic, because like if they gave Toga like special combos for like all the other characters, like there would have been no reason for her to change in the first place. So I thought it was just a mechanic, because if she changed into Ochako, for example, it's just so much easier from a game development aspect to just have Ochako's combos as a result, and all of her combos use her quirk.
Yeah, no, that was 100% a spoiler. That was there for a reason.
Well, I mean, like in the game, if you hit the quirk buttons, like I play it on PlayStation. If you hit triangle and circle, if she's in disguise mode, it doesn't do anything. Like all she has is her combos.
What were you saying, Jaden?
Yeah, no, I was wanting to switch gears maybe and mention Twice. Twice is like a villain that I absolutely love. I cannot get enough of him. I don't know him. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm getting Deadpool vibes from Twice.
No, yeah, absolutely.
No, he was inspired by Deadpool.
There's no question.
He was inspired by Deadpool. That's been confirmed.
That's why like his personality is split, and like why one is somewhat concerned and logical, and the other one is kill, bury, kill.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on this villain? Because I honestly want way more of Twice. I want Twice.
I love Twice. He's amazing to watch, especially now that he just has waves and waves of following him. It like I love psychotic villains like Twice that are just like going back and forth between personalities, like Joker or Deadpool, like anti-hero, but you know what I mean. And like just people who just absolutely lose it, especially if they're on the villain side, is amazing to me.
Yes. What about you, Tsunar?
I don't have.
Oh, really?
I don't hate him. But I don't think he's too special either. Like, he's there.
That's
enough. Basically my thoughts of him. That's basically my thoughts on every League of Villain character that isn't Shigaraki. They're just there.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. Let's jump to another
Again, the manga does better at shaping them out, but if we're just talking about the anime does not do the characters justice at all.
Okay,
because they skipped over the My Villain Academia arc so bad. Sorry, triggered.
If Jane, are you okay if I switch gears real quick?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
There's one set of villains I just want to get your guys' opinion on. What did you guys think of Gentleman and La Brava?
Gentleman and La Brava. You're gonna have to remind me.
Gentleman.
Oh my gosh! Horrible! No! Waste of time! Waste of freaking time!
Again, that's kind of why I wanted to bring him up.
No. Next topic. The most pointless literal pair that like. Why did we even waste Deku's time with this? It was so stupid. It was I didn't understand. I was like watching the episode. I was like, is this why I bought Crunchyroll? No, this is not why I do this. No, man, I'm not a fan. And
I'm not really either, because like when I first saw him, I'm like, he's streaming all of his crimes and hasn't been caught.
Yeah.
Wow. Like,
it's so stupid.
It was just a tragic love story, and I'm just like, this is in my hero show because I don't know.
Yeah, I really liked him.
Like, I was more excited about like the school festival and like Eri coming in and like the what Class 1A was planning like the entire time, and then Deku's like, "You're not wrecking this festival." I'm like, this is okay, but why? Like we just come off of a big like Overhaul's entire arc. And now here we are just building the, like, you can do slice of life stuff in shonen. It's fine. You need a break every now and again. You don't need to fill it with action every chance you get. And then I see Gentleman and La Brava. I'm like, they're bad, but to me, they were entertainingly bad just because of, like, how stupid and silly it was. But the weird thing is that the thing that connected that they were bad guys was Deku realized they were drinking tea in a cafe. Really?
No. He recognized them because he recognized them from their Instagram stuff.
Yeah. Okay, that's even stupider though.
He saw them at the cafe.
He did recognize him from that. But then the thing that clicked it was Gentleman was famous for always drinking tea before his crimes. And that's exactly what they did here. And it's just like, well, crap. Way to give it just immediately away.
Giving it away.
I didn't have much on these guys. I just wanted to touch on them because of how pointless they were.
No, of course. But what were your thoughts, Tsunar, on Gentleman?
Again, it was Like, I didn't care either way. I didn't care. But then again, it was like, it was definitely a filler because I think it's 100%. Confirmed that the manga was never meant to be this long. And so I think the author has been kind of stretching things out to make it longer. And he's been, which makes entirely sense to why some arcs just feel pointless. Like they don't accomplish anything at all. And I think that was a prime example. Like you could cut that out. Which actually angers me. You could have cut that out and given more room to My Villain Academia, and that would have been fine. That would have worked.
Big supporter of My Villain Academia.
I get that it was a filler and everything else. Like the school festival and everything like that was going on. That actually had a bit of a story just because of Eri. But Gentleman and Labrava in general, like I said, to me they're bad. Like they didn't need to be in the show, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad they were because they were entertainingly bad to me at least. So I see all arguments though. Like I see like they didn't need to be in there at all, or like the show couldn't exist without. Okay, I don't see that argument. That's a lie. but I'm just happy I got what I got. Let's just leave it at that.
What were you said? What did you say, Jaden?
No, I was just no. I'm just not a fan of Gentleman. I don't know where else to go with this one, honestly.
All right.
Go for another gear, Hotshot. If you want to X out another topic, go for it.
Yeah, I'll X out another one here. Okay. So, Tsunar, you probably know way more about this because it's probably something out in the manga or anything or everything already. But for people who have just watched the show, Hawk's endgame, like just him infiltrating the League of Villains and him like trying to learn everything from the inside out and also playing the hero card, or really just Hawk in general. Like it's weird. It's weird to see like a sleuth kind of thing going on with a superhero. To me, it like he pretends he doesn't want anything to do with being a hero, but like here he is like number 2 on the ranking and everything else. Like he has the power and he has the skills and everything to back it up, but he's the Shikamaru of the group. He'd rather just chill. And yet here he is sneaking in to League of Villains and trying to learn everything and feed information through. For a while, it was giving me the runaround because I didn't know if he was like faking being a hero or faking being a villain.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm still confused on Hawk. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want me to answer that?
In a non-spoilerly way, yes.
He is a hero.
I mean, that's honestly all I'll need, just because like I was legit confused because frankly, that's how good Hawk is at playing this off. Like me as a viewer, I didn't know if he was a good guy or a bad guy anymore.
No, I had no doubts that he was a good guy. None.
Well,
especially with season 5.
Yeah, but the way I see it is that when he was infiltrating the League of Villains, I understand why viewers would get confused as to like, is he trying to switch sides or is he just trying to get intel? You know, like he did toe the line. You know, he did tiptoe the line more than other heroes have.
Well, I mean, that's how you play the storyline of a double agent. Is just like, like an infiltrator is like you want to fool everyone. Like there's a saying, you got to fool your allies if you want to fool your enemies, and that's kind of what he was doing with the viewers in my eyes. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that Hawk is a hero, but at the same time, I'm just like, it'd still be kind of cool if like he had to fight Endeavor as a villain.
No, absolutely. But to go back on Hawk, I want to plant my flag here. Hawk's quirk is my favorite quirk. I absolutely love
the feathers.
Yeah, the feathers is fantastic. Especially the one moment when like that building was collapsing and there was all those people in it, and you just see like all these feathers flying off of him and just like grabbing people and then like safely putting them down to the ground. I was like, that's a pretty good.
I love the fact that he can use his feathers, like grow them out and extend them as like swords. Like that's freaking cool.
Yeah, really cool. No, I'm a big fan of Hawk, regardless of good guy, bad guy vibes. Absolutely a great hero, according to Tsunar.
Villain, according to me.
According to me.
Look, we're giving people false hope here, okay?
With him giving, telling Endeavor, Deku, and everybody about what's going on with the League of Villains.
Yeah,
there's no doubt that he's a hero.
If he was a villain, he would have.
He's
still playing a very dangerous game here, though.
I mean, he revealed everything that's going on behind those scenes. Everything. So it's not like he's tiptoeing. Oh, I'm probably a villain. No, he told everything.
I think, well, in all seriousness, we've hit a bunch of topics here that are really good. Is there any like other big topics you guys want to get into before we do final thoughts?
I want to talk one topic real quick, just because I want your guys' take on it.
Of course.
In season 4, when the big 3 were introduced and Night Eye and everything was introduced, like the Night Eye agency, Night Eye was very adamant on the fact that Mirio should have gotten the power for One for All. I kind of want to touch on that. What do you guys would think would have happened if Mirio got it instead of Deku?
Oh man, obviously we would not have the amazing series we have now, but Mirio as a character, to me, he always felt like more of a mentor, you know? and I just feel like he had enough. Like when he comes into the picture of the anime, he's developed. People look up to him and they want to see him go on. He could have definitely had One for All and carried it well for sure. I think he would have done a good job with that. But I'm glad we had the Deku do it instead.
I mean, I am too, but at the same time, I'm just imagining, like, more than anything, I'm imagining fight scenes, like with Mirio's phase 3 power, like just charging through the ground, but at the same time charging it all for one punch. I just kind of want to see that like once, just because it would have seemed amazing. Sure. Like, yeah, obviously I'm glad it was Deku and not Mirio, but I still can't help but fantasize what it would have been like.
So, well, I think Mirio... Okay, so my opinion on that aspect is I think Mirio would both be stronger and weaker than Deku is.
How do you figure?
Meaning?
So one, he'd have a quirk of his own. So he would have the ability and the his own quirk to tie into it. So starting out, yes, he would definitely have been stronger than Deku. He would probably have had more control over One for All. All for One, sorry. No, One for All. Yes. He would have had more control over One for All. He would have been way better at the start and so on and so forth. But I don't think he would have been able to tap into the other quirks like Deku is doing right now. The reason why one of the reasons I think Deku is tapping into him is because he didn't have a quirk, and he's coming in from a perspective of having to learn the quirk from the get-go, which is, I think that is what's allowing him to tap into the other holders of One for All. And I think if Mirio had it, he wouldn't be focusing so much on his quirk and learning it as much as Deku is currently. Okay. And so I think in the long run, Deku is going to be stronger than Mirio would be, but in the short run, Mirio would have probably been stronger.
I feel like you've thought about this a lot before. Like,
think of next users of One for All. It's just like they also have Mirio's phase 2 ability as well as like any others that they might have gathered.
Yeah,
that's just kind of overpowered even of itself.
I mean, yes, but I can't say anymore because season 6.
Okay.
Yes,
but yeah, no. As we're thinking about it a lot, it's just story writing. I'm big into story writing and writing stories in general and stuff like that. So everything is done for a reason. And I honestly think, like, logically, I don't think Mirio would have the desire or urge to tap into One for All the way Deku is doing right now.
No, but then again, One for All is like all Deku has, like other than Black Whip, but part of One for All. I don't want to get into that, but you know what I mean.
There's also the perspective of Deku knows what it's like to be powerless, while Mirio wouldn't know.
I mean, Mirio does know, because when he first started with his quirk, he thought it was like completely useless. He made it into the powerful quirk that it is. That's like different. His whole thing.
That is different. That is having no power is different than having a power you don't understand.
All right, fair enough.
Like
Deku, no, yeah, I'll concede. You're entirely right on that.
Like, it's Deku's perspective is entirely different than Mirio's. While they understand where the other's coming from, the perspective on where they approach things is different.
Right.
Like I said, I'm gonna have to give you that one because I see your point.
Well, let me still tell you why you're wrong. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding, Tsunar. You're doing good. I'm totally kidding.
As for what I would like to address, Deku versus Overhaul.
Ooh, yes, I did have this as a talking point. Deku versus Overhaul.
That was the point where Deku became a hero.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Man. Yes,
like just him using full cowling 100% with area reversing him, and just fucking goddamn that final punch, that final collection of punches, that wall of giant fists coming towards Overhaul at the end. Just he was doing something that like pros and everyone else was having major difficulty with in bringing Overhaul down, and just that final clash between them, and hell, even building up to the clash, like with Night Eye getting impaled by the stalagmite, and then Deku basically on his own because Mirio was left quirkless and Night Eye was down, and everything, just that entire build up to we got to put it all on the wall here. And then, and I gotta say it again, full cowling 100%. Oh my god, I loved it.
I mean, that just showed how much stronger he is than All Might, because he was doing stuff that you didn't even see All Might doing. Like,
And he saw the split second opening. Like, okay, I don't know if you guys remember this shot, like specifically this shot, but right before the final punch, where Deku and Eri are completely silhouetted throwing a punch at Overhaul, like that slow motion shadowed out punch. I don't know if you guys know it by heart, but it's fucking awesome.
See,
it is fucking terrifying.
I was about to say my boy went all Asaurus Wrath on this Momo. He was hitting so fast that he had multiple hands coming at him, and then it took a delay for the attacks to hit before the guy fell to pieces. This man literally was surpassing All Might at that point.
Deku don't take no prisoners. If Deku fights you, you're getting put down.
When that fight occurred, the one thing that was unclear to me was he was constantly in the air. Like, how was he doing that? That was the one confusion I had about that fight.
He's that powerful.
He was jumping off the air, if I remember.
Or he was tapping into All Might's Master's power without knowing it.
Fair. That is a possibility as well.
That is definitely I think that's probably what it is.
Like, if you remember, he was moving so incredibly fast that he was like a bullet. But it could be, that's not confirmed, so I'm not going to say that's what it is, but I like that theory. But yeah, my theory is to what was going on is he was just dashing through the air. He wasn't actually floating.
Okay, I think, well, he was definitely dashing. I was just like, how did he consistently stay in the air? But anyways, it was epic regardless. The other cool fight I loved was Deku versus Muscular. When that, I forget the little kid that like didn't believe in. Yeah, that kid that didn't believe in heroes and everything, and then Deku's like, let me show you why heroes are a big deal, and he really went all out. They always give the best fights to Deku, obviously main character trope, but it was such a good battle as well.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was definitely the first time Deku stood up for his own.
Yes.
But I would say it was the least interesting of the fights because it was just punching back and forth. It was just a show of power. That's all.
Yeah, because that was the entire reason he was at the training camp, was to get better at punching.
Well, like, it was just a show of power. And back to what you said at the beginning of this podcast, it showed that tactics wasn't enough because Deku was trying to think strategically. He was trying to think about every move and every action.
When he really just needed power.
It slowed him down, and it wasn't enough. He just needed raw power to defeat Muscular. So that is another example that you can be as smart as you want, but if the guy's stronger than you, he's going to beat you. That's the type of show My Hero Academia is. I don't agree with that philosophy. I don't agree with that mentality, but that's the type of show My Hero is. It's power, 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 power. And it showed very heavily in that fight against Muscular.
Was that the first time he used One for All 1,000,000%?
Overhaul too, like power and tactics, because he saw the opening that Overhaul had to recharge in order for him to get that strike in.
The difference is when he beat him, it was just raw power.
Well, yeah, but he knew when to punch too.
It didn't matter because he was just punching him. He wasn't thinking of when to punch. He was just punching him.
He said the moment that he recharged, there's like a split second delay, like as he was fighting Overhaul, and that's when he did the final blow.
Before he did 100% full cowling, and he was hitting faster than he could regenerate. It didn't matter when he went 100%. He was just so strong that he hit him so fast he couldn't regenerate.
All right.
I want to ask, versus Muscular, was that the first time he used 1,000,000% One for All? I believe it is, right?
He didn't actually use 1 minute. He didn't use 1,000,000.
Okay,
because I'm looking at he would no longer have an arm.
Okay, fair enough. But the thing is, when I'm watching the clip on YouTube, and there is the subtitle literally says One for All 1,000,000%.
Yeah,
so
the manga
maybe
author
he shouted
stated
it?
Yeah, no, the manga author stated he didn't actually use 1,000,000%. He did that to psych himself up.
Okay, so what was it? Just like what version of One for All would that have been in that case? Because he's still training, right? So it makes sense that
it wasn't 100, but like it had to at least have been like 25 when you think about it. Like it had to have been way more than he was used to using.
I'd have to do research because I don't remember, but it wasn't a lot. It was under 10% if I recall correctly.
Jesus.
Yeah. 100% was the full cowling when he was all glowing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
so-
I
so
it's
freaking
definitely
love
less
that
than 100.
mode. I love it in the show. I love
Yes.
it in game. I love it in manga. I haven't seen it in manga, but I imagine I love it.
I'm gonna need Death Battle to do something about that. By the way, I'm gonna need Death Battle.
Yeah.
to
All
make
right,
that
let's go
happen.
ahead and wrap this up.
Mentions Death Battle once. All right, I'm quitting. Let's see. Before we wrap up, though, I did have one last topic I really wanted to hit on.
Before you do, I just looked it up.
Yeah?
He used about 5 or 10%.
Jesus.
5 or 10%.
Oh
That
yeah,
was-
that was like when he was regulating like 2 or 3 at most.
Oh my goodness! Hey, the potential. Of this
God, our
character, I love it.
boy has come far.
Yeah. What did you guys think of Endeavor as a replacement to All Might becoming that number one?
I was hoping. I love Endeavor's story arc so much. It is so
too, me
good.
Oh,
No,
really?
I love Endeavor's story arc.
Why are you so about it?
I'm just on Endeavor, really, just because like he's another one where like power is everything, and just the whole Todoroki family storyline, like it is tragic, and I am there for like Todoroki and his siblings more than I am Endeavor, and he has like flipped a switch going around like in this recent season, but Endeavor was just never really a character I cared about. And I mean, it made sense that he became number 1 because he was number 2, and now All Might's not. So,
So what I
he's
like about
number
Endeavor,
1,000.
and I agree, I hated him. I'm gonna be honest, I absolutely hated him. At the beginning of the series, not gonna go into my own personal stuff, but I really, really did hate him.
okay.
But now I really appreciate what they were doing from a writing perspective with Endeavor, because he's wrong. They say he's wrong, and he's not being instantly forgiven like in every other shonen anime. Like every other shonen anime, it would have been like, "Oh, I forgive you. It's okay. We're moving on. We're moving forward." No. He is working for atonement, and even his son doesn't forgive him yet, or even will. And they go into like the thing that he may be able to move on, but he will never forgive him for what he's done.
Right.
Like he may be able to change and as a person, but it doesn't change the fact that what he did, still he did it.
Yeah.
And you can't erase the past. You can make a better future, but it doesn't mean you can't forget what happened in that situation. So he may be able to build a strong relationship going forward, but he'll never have that father-son relationship with his kids that he did, that a normal parent would, because of his actions in the past, and that resentment will always be there. And I think involving a trauma and abuse, the show handles that extremely well.
No, I understand the point. I do want to like touch on stay on Endeavor. His fight versus Nomu at the very end. I remember when we weren't sure if he was gonna make it when as they were falling back, and then the flame bursts and he like stands up and his hands are in the air. Like I remember seeing Todoroki like literally squatting in a prayer position. Like he looked like happy that his dad was still there. So I understand that obviously all that trauma occurred and everything, and the relationship is strained. But you do see there's still like connectivity between the two on some sort of level.
I mean, he's still his dad. Like, at some primal level, you're still going to care about your parents. That's hardwired into our DNA as people. But it doesn't change and even Todoroki said, like, I guess another good example is Todoroki was looking for a reason to forgive him. But it doesn't change the fact that his other siblings are his other sibling is a polar opposite. And I understand where his other sibling came from. And
definitely
it doesn't justify what he did, but it shows his character and his character development going from that hard, stern, overly was obsessed about being the best to caring about his family and wanting to make things right with his family, but understanding that he'll never be able to completely make things right.
No, I see. That's like how that character is, and I'm excited to see what develops with Endeavor in season 6 and further on. Let's I think we can jump into final thoughts. Hotshot, did you have anything else you want to say, or Tsunar, or can we jump to final thoughts?
I think we can jump to final thoughts.
I would like to discuss how 5 compares to 4 in other seasons, but if we want to jump to final thoughts, that's fully fine.
Oh, okay, no, let's do it. How 5 compares to other seasons, please. 5 was a weaker season in my opinion.
I agree.
To be honest.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst season so far.
Honestly,
okay. And so your final thoughts.
Watching him recently, yeah, I'm kind of with you.
There was a lot of issues in the season, from the abridging of the My Villain Academia arc
to
a lot of
Gentleman and La
content,
Brava.
to a lot of cutting. I think that was last season.
Was that 4? I thought that was 5.
Yeah, I think that was the last arc in 4.
All right, never mind then.
But there was also the rearranging of arcs. Like the My Villain Academia was supposed to be before an arc in season 5, and then they switched that around. Like, a lot of it comes down to My Villain Academia, and it honestly makes me nervous for the future. Without spoiling, I'm not going to spoil anything, but season 6 is going to be the hardest to adapt.
Ooh, I like
it. It
that.
is going to be one of the hardest seasons to adapt. And the fact that they struggled so hard on this season makes me a little scared about what's coming forward.
Okay, we'll see what happens, but that honestly excites me more than anything. I'm excited to see what occurs from that. Personally, I'll jump into my final thoughts here. I want to just give a big shout out to my favorite fight. All For One versus All Might was epic, and I just want to say that this anime, I forget where I put it, but it is in my top 10, and it's one of my favorite. I think the season 5 docks it down. I don't know if it's still in my top 10 if we were to redo a top 10 podcast. But at the end of the day, it's still really good. It's a shonen success. It has great characters. It's a fantastic story. If you've listened to this podcast up to this point, I hope you've watched everything, because we basically told you the entirety of everything. But fantastic anime regardless. I still rate it very highly. So what about you, Hotshot?
Sorry, I just hit my mic as I was stretching, so there's that. Hero is honestly still in my top 10. Like I said at the beginning of this, it's anime, it's heroes, and I'm a sucker for anything superheroes. And I still love all the characters. I'm loving even more characters than I did at the start. Like I said, like Hiroshima was one that I just kind of liked. Now he's one of my absolute favorites. And I'm excited to see where it goes, because I'm easily entertained. Plus, I want more games. Give me more games. Give me more hero games. Like, I'm still just eating all this up. It might just be because, like, all the adaptation I have is the anime. I don't have the manga like Tsunar does. So maybe if I read that, I'll be disappointed. So here's hoping.
Right.
Disappointed and depression, just like my parents.
Hell
Anyways,
yeah.
Let's go.
And your final thoughts, Tsunar?
But I will say, Tsunar, you have made me curious about what the manga actually does. So I'm gonna actually try to look into that.
Good.
Wow.
The manga.
Wow, you're convincing Hotshot to read a manga?
I've read
Tsunar.
manga. I haven't read many, but I've read manga.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're that's no
The
comment.
manga
No
is significantly darker than the anime, fair warning.
That's what I'm hoping for.
But yeah, no, my thoughts, I don't know if I'd put it on my top 10, mainly because this is going to be blasphemy to a lot of people. I don't know if I like 10 anime in general to put it into my top 10.
So at least it's in your
the wrong
top 10.
podcast.
Just like 6 on is just vacant.
Yeah, no, like I've kind of, as I gotten older, I've kind of drifted away from most anime, and I'm very picky about actually what I enjoy and like. I'm a very narrative person, and unless it hits a narrative beat with me, I don't watch it. I don't like it. And most anime hasn't, but I still enjoy it. I am very disappointed with season 5, though. I'm very, very disappointed in season 5. But yeah, no, I enjoy it. I think what I heard a while back, someone said My Hero Academia is a okay anime with great moments, and I think that really shines correctly for me.
That's a good way to say it.
It's fine. It's okay. It's mediocre at a lot of times, but it has some really good explosive moments that are really memorable and really worth talking about.
Great. Let's go ahead and do plugging to promote ourselves and everything. Hotshot, where can people find you, and what do you do?
You guys can find me right here on Anime Podcasters on JaianMusic's channel. I never leave. He won't let me. We've looked for co-hosts. None of them are interested in him, so I'm stuck. You guys can also find me on my channel, Hotshot Ginger, where I do sometimes do the sister podcast of this podcast, PonsuCast, where we talk about the dirtier and more slice of life stuff, basically stuff that Jane doesn't want anything to do with. You guys can find me on Twitter at Hotshot Ginger. I will do nothing but ghost you. And I know I haven't been there for a while, and I am planning to make a return. I just have to work a few things out. You guys can find me over on Twitch at Hotshot Ginger, and I am going to be going back into playing games and hanging out with you guys over there. So stay tuned. I know, sorry I haven't been there for a while. I just have a lot of things going on in life right now.
And Tsunar, where can people find you, and what are your projects currently?
You can find me on Twitter, Tsunar Cologne. I also have a Twitch, Tsunar Cologne, on TSUNARKELONE. On Twitch, I stream there almost regularly. I haven't been doing it for the last few months because I'm lazy and But you can usually find me streaming. You can also go to my YouTube channel, the same name, to check out my previous Let's Plays and stuff like that. And then I recently created a new music channel where I put up my music and such, which is called Jonathan Strong, and which is under my stage name. Hi, how are you doing? Where you can find my music and such. And as for what I'm doing right now, I'm working on a web series and a card game. Which you can find the first 3 trial decks for sale, actually, and play it for free on Tabletop Simulator if you have that. But I'm going to stop plugging myself now because I feel like I feel dirty.
No. This is literally.
You
if
are
there's anything
dirty,
else you want to mention, please. If there's anything else you want to. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that. The podcast is at Anime Podcasters on Facebook. Make sure to subscribe to us in your favorite podcatcher. We're there. You can rate this podcast on ratethispodcast.com/anime podcasters. You can leave us a voicemail on speakpipe.com/anime podcasters. And also, we have surveys you can take in the description to let us know what you think of the show. And if you're interested to be a guest, we also have a Google Forms you can fill out. For myself, I am at JaianMusic. You can follow me on social media, Twitter, Facebook. It's all at JaianMusic. Instagram. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/JaianMusic, and my website is JaianMusic.com. All right. Final little housekeeping note. I should have mentioned it at the beginning. There is going to be a bit of an overlap of episodes on Anime Podcasters. Hotshot and I will still be doing 2 a month, as we always do. But on top of that, we recently ended the Cowboy Bebop live action update podcast. And the reason why we did that is because the series is coming out very soon as you are listening to this. So Kyo and I will be hopping on to Anime Podcasters and just doing episode breakdowns of the Cowboy Bebop live action that will be on Netflix. We don't know if we're going to do it episode per episode. I think we're just going to chunk them together and do breakdowns of that. So make sure to subscribe to the podcast if you don't want to miss that as well. So thank you everyone for coming on to the podcast today. Thank you very much, Tsunar. You did a fantastic job. It was great talking to you. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. It was a blast.
Yeah, you're all right.
Of course. Yeah, come on. If Hotshot said you're all right, that means he likes you, okay?
Oh, okay, you're fine then.
Look, more people like me.
And it was a pleasure to have you on. So thank you so much. And yes, feel free to come back on whatever. We would love to have you on again. So for myself, Tsunar, and Hotshot, this has been another episode of.
This is impressive.
Our show, Anime Podcasters.
Bye, guys.